guys, I'm back, and this time I'm back to do a hair tutorial for natural hair, of course, because I am team natural. And today I'm going to show you guys how to plait, just a few basics and some tips and things like that. Let me see. I use Shea Moisture, the Jamaican Black Castor Oil line. I use the shampoo, the conditioner, the leave-in conditioner, the styling lotion, and I use the hair mask as well. Now, as you can already see, I've already washed my hair, and still kind of damp, of course, and it's shrunken all the way down. My hair comes down to here, but it's shrunken down. And I've already have it separated. That saves me a lot of time. And I'm already getting started on the strand right now. You want to make sure your hair is separated in half first off. And you want to make sure that you try to get it in an almost perfect square because it helps a lot. And my hair is pretty thick. I'm going to just show you guys here what I do. I separate it, of course. I got it tangled in the comb. I start combing the ends first. Okay. I start combing the ends first. And I start combing more of the hair. Now that I've done that, my hair is detangled. So, as you see, it's all separated here, of course. I'm going to take this part of my hair, which I usually don't do, but I'm going to take this part of my hair, all that's separated on this side, and I'm going to put it in a little makeshift ponytail, of course. Take my hairband here, and for this, I'm using like a kind of like a large hairband. It's flat though. Let me grab one for you here. One of the flat hairbands here, and that's what I use to separate my hair when I'm braiding. And you see, I don't even have to twist it over. I can just put it on my hair and it keeps it. Now back to this strand here. A lot of people are pessimistic about their peak in their hair. I am too. Now what you want to do after you've done all of that, get your styling lotion here. You see here, Shea Moisture, Strengthen, Grow, and Restore. You want to go ahead and get some of it. Just get a little drop out. Just a little drop. Okay, see that? And take it on your fingers, rub it around just a little bit. Take that strand of hair that you're working with there, and put a little bit by the roots, of course. Look at that. Just kind of work it in there. You don't want it to be, you want to make sure that you don't put too much because it'll kind of cake up in a way. It'll really show. Also, make sure you rub it in, because if you don't rub it in, eventually when it starts to evaporate a little bit, it starts to get kind of oily. You want to kind of run it through your hair like that. See that? There we go. Make sure you get the ends as well too. Now, a lot of people, when they do braid their hair, they put rubber bands on this right here, and they put rubber bands on this here, and they braid it, but today we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to just go ahead and start braiding it. So you want to grab a little bit of hair, of course, Grabbing your 3 sections of hair, take it, twist it around your finger a little bit, go like that, and you want to try to make sure that you can get your fingers down to the end of that hair, you know, down to the base of the braid. So, there we go. And you want to braid. And also when you're braiding, try to pull down that hair as well while you're braiding. That helps a lot, keeping it from getting frizzy as you're braiding. Because of course, you know, since you're natural, you know, it's not like we have straight hair and it's, you know, this hair is actually curly and wavy. So, you know, as you're braiding, you want the hair to stay nice and shiny looking as you braid. So, there it goes. There we go. And I'm, of course, looking in front of me in my mirror to make sure that I have the braid okay. You want to get down as far as you can to the bottom. Okay. And you take that hair on the bottom that you have left, and you go like that. And some people like to twirl the hair up and knot the hair up. Me, I used to do that, but I don't do it anymore. I just take a rubber band. You can use any kind of rubber band you want. I use the black ones. They last longer. And I go to right where the braiding stops in your hair, and I go like that, of course, how you would knot it. But I go down. As I'm rubber banding the hair, I go down. And I take that last piece of hair as I pull through the loop here, and I pull it through like that. And that braid is done. Okay. Now, of course, I'm going to braid some more of the hair here. I'm going to braid some more of it here, and then we'll see what we get. Alrighty, you guys. So, I'm now on the last 2 braids on this side, and once I finish that, I will start on the next side. Now, what I'm doing is gently separating the hair into either squares or triangles, depending on where I am at in my hair. Trying to make sure I comb it as far down to the roots as I possibly can to keep it as detangled as possible, because that makes the braid actually smoother and skinnier. As you see here, that's what I'm doing with the braid right now. My hair is pretty long. You know, I have it combed out, have it separated, grab the hair almost like a rope. Get some leave-in conditioner, of course. This is actually the styling lotion. You can use either or. I prefer the styling lotion. For some reason, it just kept my braids feeling fresher longer. They look fresher longer, actually. I've used the leave-in conditioner before with my hair too. I've had similar results, but when I go to wash it, it's a little easier if I use a styling lotion. Let's see here. I took some, of course, like I showed you guys. Little drop, and rub around my fingers, put it on the ends. Fluff the ends out, pull it through. Take any dead hair in the process that you didn't quite catch when you washed your hair, which happens when you're natural. Make sure you grab enough to put near the root. You don't want the hair to be dry or anything like that. And when you're braiding, when you're plaiting or braiding, however you want to say it, or doing singles, however you may all say, just simply take the hair, you know, break off your 3 sections, of course. One, make sure it's straight. Then you go, and you get your second. They don't have to all be exactly even, just close enough. And since I'm braiding downwards, you just take the strands, you pull them down. and you start braiding down loose like that. Try to make sure when you're braiding, you make sure the braid goes all the way up close to the scalp, or if you have a loose braid. And as you see here, here we go. There we go. Careful not to change direction too much. There we go. There we go. There we go. Almost done with that braid. And you want to kind of look in the mirror to make sure that you get as much hair captured as you can. And that last little piece, remember I told you to kind of straighten a little bit of hair out that you didn't have enough to braid, or you don't want to risk messing up. Take a rubber band, grab it, put it on the end of that braid. Okay, flip the rubber band. You keep doing that all the way down. You don't want to stretch the rubber band while you're doing too much either, because it may pop under pressure. So it's a little just, you know, not cool, of course. And take it, pull it out, and there goes that braid. One of mine, I have kind of like a street style, kind of 90s, early 2000s look. I wanted that kind of plait look. I never like doing the same style twice unless I absolutely have to. Keeping it simple, of course, nothing complicated. So when I go to take it out, when I do take my hair out, it won't be like a bunch of, you know, it'll just be easy. Take it out, separate it, wash it. Rinse, wash, repeat. I typically leave a hairstyle in like this for just a couple of weeks because, of course, it's pretty much the middle of summertime. It's very humid, it's very hot, so my hair is being exposed to all kind of stuff, you know, and I just want to make sure I keep my hair as clean as possible. Now, if they're smaller braids, then those ones, of course, I can leave in for, you know, about another week and a half or so. Let me do this last braid right here in the back. And see here, it's one more piece of hair I separated. I want to make sure I get all the hair into a braid. Every piece of hair is in a braid. Get my comb, you know, remove your dead hair. I've been doing this for so long to the point where I don't even need both hands to remove it anymore. You do everything with one hand now. You're going to comb that hair. I'm going to comb the ends. There we go. That bit's dried up a little bit. If the hair is dried a little bit, don't worry, because the styling lotion will soften it back up. You know, like that, and like that. So now the hair is actually straight now. Gonna get some styling lotion. This piece is kind of in the back, so usually when you braid the back, it's a bit of a struggle. But what I learned about braiding the back of your hair is, if you pull the hair, once you've combed it and everything, if you pull it kind of around like I'm doing now, kind of pulling it around, it makes it easier to braid. Now, when you're putting your hair stuff in, you can put your hair stuff in like this, but I'll show you how to braid it in just a second. Get a little more of the styling lotion here. Kind of put it all in here. Get it all in the hair. Any dead hair, remove it. Now, when you get your 3 pieces of hair, you do that in the back, okay? So you get your three pieces. Like that. You know, you want to make sure you start braiding in the back first. And then when you get a good little flow going, you pull it around. Yes, you got your hair separated. There you go. Yep. And you just keep braiding as normal. And as you see here, the braid is coming along. Remember I told you to kind of pull down when you're braiding. Also sliding your fingers down the braid as you braid too to keep it nice and smooth. There we go. Yep. There we go. A rubber band. Like that. Now, I got that side complete. That's done. I just set every piece in place where I want it. Get my pieces together here. There we go. There we go. You can kind of set the hair anywhere where you want it to kind of go. As you see here, I went for the flat look this time here, with the braid in the front, of course, because I didn't want to braid it down and it come falling here. It just wouldn't look right. So I got those done. This piece will set itself. You could take a bobby pin and you can kind of put it in and you can kind of leave it down and it'll set that piece down for good. Or you can just let it set on its own or put a bandana on and it'll set down itself. Now, that side is done. Only took me like not even 30 minutes. Got the whole side done. Now, the final side, of course. Before you take the puff out, pull out the hair a little bit. It makes it a little easier. Pull all that hair out. Let some air in there. Let it dry a little bit because you need to be a little drier if it's still a little wet. And as you see there, I'm looking like, you know. But here we go. Got that out. And there we go. I'm going to start in the front initially. You want to kind of make sure a lot of the hair is pulled out. That way the hair is evenly distributed when you do go to do your braids. There we go. There we go. Now, I'm going to start and I'm going to try to do, you want to try to mimic the same, you know, part of hair in the front for the first few to kind of make it look symmetrical, because as you know, unless you're doing somebody else's hair, it doesn't come out 100% symmetrical, of course. So you want to, you know, try to get it to look as, you know. So what I'm going to do once again is I'm going to separate some hair. I want to try to go straight across, so I'm going to keep the comb facing down. Okay? When I do that, I have my hair. And you can kind of pull it or grab a bit of it as you see here. And a lot of times your hair will naturally part itself right here. You want to definitely make sure that you get a little bit of hair, a little bit of stringy hair and stuff up and in a braid. And there we go. Look at that. And we have that one separated. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did on the opposite side. Oops. Start at the end and work your way up when you're combing, by the way. Okay. There we go. I have a lot of hair, so it can be a hassle sometimes to comb. But I'm used to it now. I'm used to it. And some more of this here. When I put the stuff in my hair, I start from the bottom and then the middle, and then the top, the ends of the hair. That helps the best. Basically, I'm trying to get it all through. I don't want to put too much product, like I said, either, to make your hair heavy. Okay, and I'm going to braid this piece. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Yep. And kind of check and make sure that there's no pieces hanging out, or there's not what I call a braid puff, where a certain part of your braid will be actually frizzy and puffy, like hair didn't catch. So I'm looking in the mirror, of course. There we go. And of course, a lot of times when you braid, you're probably wondering, why is that hair longer than the hair on the other side? That's because you done braided the thing like a half hour to an hour ago, so it's already shrinking down, but eventually it'll all level itself out. Not just the day you braid it, but also in coming days. My hair did the same thing. The last time I braided my hair and plaited my hair, I mean, for about a good week or so, it was coming down, you know, past my face. And as I got in more and more humidity and I was outside more and more, it shrunk more and more. So by the time I went to take my hair out, it was like I almost had like a little kid and play going on. You know, I went from having it all the way down here to it being up, you know. But it comes with the territory, you know. I mean, can't be mad at that. There we go. Those braids are good. And I'm going to start working on the rest of it. And let's see how this turns out. Okay, you guys, I am on the last two braids on this side here. It only took me about 30 minutes. 35 minutes or so. Just trying to even out the strands of hair right now. Just trying to figure out how exactly I want my hair to be separated for those last two. You just want to kind of make sure the hair is separated right. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and comb that one out right quick. Last little bit of hair. There we go. There we go. There we go. Real quick, simple and easy. I'll put my hair product in it. I finished right on time, actually. I said I wanted to finish my Bible study, and I managed to get my hair done in just a short period of time, so I'm pretty proud of that right now. I'm pretty proud of it. It came out pretty good, so. There we go. And go. Alright. And of course there's a couple braids I probably want to redo. But they're good for right now. They're actually really good for right now. People always talk about natural hair. They say they don't have to do the work to keep it up. And I'm like, it's your hair. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you do, you're gonna have to do something to it. I love being natural. I started growing my hair back 2013. 2013 in August. I was completely bald, and I started from scratch. And my hair comes down to here now. I don't use any silicone, any drying alcohols, no parabens, nothing like that to mess my hair up. No sulfur really. You know, I keep my hair very clear, should I say. And keeping up with natural hair is not hard at all. It's really not. It depends on if you actually want to do the work or not. You don't want to do the work, of course, it's gonna, it's gonna always be a drag. But if you feel like doing the work to it, you feel like keeping it up and taking pride in your hair, it ain't hard. It ain't as hard as it seems, It's really not. So, there we go. I wanted to use this comb so y'all can see the difference in trying to use this one against using the double-sided comb. You see the constant worry about having to try to get it all, combed through one side without getting it stuck in the other side, takes a little longer, being a little more cautious without having to snag any other hair or whatnot. So, got that done. I got this last one here. And you're probably wondering how I do that with the bottle just now. A lot of people already know. If you're watching this, you already know. But I take the bottle like this, with the top facing down, of course like this, and I go kind of throw it, and I squeeze with my thumb a little bit out of my finger, wipe it up. I go like that. So, yep. And you guys make sure you follow me, subscribe, comment, like, any suggestions or anything like that. I'll be on here doing a lot more things, as I mentioned in my other broadcast. Just kind of trying to touch all the bases of all the things I like to do. There'll be plenty more to come. And like I said, just hang in there with me, Start to see some new things, some different things. Just kind of testing the waters, seeing what I like to do, what I don't like to do, what works and what doesn't work. What it really boils down to just being yourself, So. Yeah. It boils down to just being yourself. Alright, nearing the end of that braid there, the final braid. There we go. And if you see, my part worked out pretty well. Like I was hoping it would, of course. Alright. And take out the rest of the dead hair. And there we go. Any hair that's left on the end, you just kind of pull it off as you're braiding. Helps a lot too as well. we go. Go. And the braids are all done. Yep, they're all done. Here we go. So we went from having a head full of hair all over the place to having some nice braids, you know, hair all put and set. And we are ready to take on the world. Alright, here goes that. Like I said, if you need to bobby pin any pieces to stay down, they will stay down. And as I did mention, the hair will draw back up, which it has, which is pretty good, to a reasonable length, which is really good as well. Because remember, the bigger the braid, the smaller it'll shrink down. So if you're doing like the tiny braids, you'll have a less chance of them shrinking all the way down. But the bigger they are, the more down they'll shrink. I actually like these. These work. Keep this hairstyle for a while. Let me lift the camera up here to kind of show you guys. Here we go. So as you guys see here, I have it all braided. It's all plaited. So it looks pretty nice. So as you see here, it's all my hair. And I want to thank you guys for watching, of course. I'll be back soon. Until then, peace.